Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? It's your girl, Tam Anderson here, and welcome to the UnNatural Mom podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about it all as it relates to being a mother the unnatural way. And first of all, let me say Happy New Year. I have not done a podcast this year at all. I've actually been on a very long hiatus, and I said I need to get myself together and do what it is that I said I was going to do. So here I am. Welcome. Happy New Year. And what I want to say now is new mic. Who this? Just kidding. Same mic. But check this out. I have this wonderful arm that I'm loving so much. I had the stands initially, but my audio, the way it was positioned wasn't giving what I needed to give. So I said, let me go ahead and get this arm so I can be at arm's length. See what I did there? Dun-dun-duns. Arm's length with my mic, and you guys could hear me the way that I intend for you to hear me, so you can get this information and get these stories and understand my journey and learn more about other people's journey. And if you're on the journey to motherhood the unnatural way, this will be your journey too. So this particular episode, I want to talk about the loneliness that sometimes comes with being a mother the unnatural way. Now, what I mean by that is that you don't get to experience, the actual pregnancy. If you are unsure of what I mean by unnatural, that means you have gotten a child or children through adoption, foster care, you're a step parent, you have done you had a surrogate. Basically, you are a mother or father, but just not the unnatural way. They did not come biologically through you. So that's what makes you unnatural, but still the same, a mother. You feel me? You feel me? It doesn't matter how the child comes, but when you engage and love on that role and say that role is you are that role as a mother, then that's what you are, no matter how you got there, right? So I just want to make that perfectly clear. Everybody doesn't go through this journey the exact same way, but the end result is that you are a mother, and that title belongs to you no matter how the process happened. But I want to talk to the people, and maybe, this could be my story, and if it's not your story, that's okay. But what do you feel? Sometimes, you're in a room and you have other people that have just, given birth, and they talk about, how much that child looks like them, or how they experience morning sickness, or, when they felt the baby kick for the first time. And, I know for me, when I go to the doctor and they ask me questions, about my son, and, they want to know the history. And I'm kind of like, I don't have it. So just for you guys, if you don't know, my son is adopted. So, but I don't have the history. I don't know what types of medical issues are on that side of the family. I don't know, height and weight and, diseases or whatever. I don't have that information. So it's kind of like, you know, and also, when you are talking to other parents and they're talking about their children and how the child reminds them so much of them when they were younger, and, how they looked alike, and, when they did their first this and their first that, and it was just like them. And you're just kind of like, yeah, you can't say that the child looks like you, because I mean, sometimes, people are like that saying is kind of like, you hang around somebody so long you start looking like them. I get that. And it's so interesting because people say to me, oh my God, he looks just like you, my son. And I'll just be like, oh, thanks. It's a compliment. I'll take it. But I know he didn't directly come through me. And I tell them this all the time. You may have not come through me, but you are mine. God gave you to me. And I think that's one of the best kinds. You were given to me by God, under crazy circumstances, in the way in which my story happened. But he is indeed a blessing. But it does feel kind of like, you're out the loop, and you don't, some people may say to you, oh, well, at least you didn't have to go through morning sickness. Well, I mean, I don't know what that feels like, you know? If that would have meant me becoming a mother the natural way to go through morning sickness, I mean, that's a part of the pregnancy journey. And that would have been something that I probably would not have mind experiencing because that's just a part of it. You know, you don't get to feel the baby kicking, the first trimester and what that looks like and the growth of your stomach. You don't get that breastfeeding opportunity for the women. You don't get that. And so that takes away, a part of like that motherhood bonding thing. I know for me, I got my son, he had just turned 3. And some of you out there may have adopted, as a newborn. And you got to bond with the baby. And you know how you see the pictures of the baby like on the chest and all of that. And I think that's an amazing thing. And that's something that I didn't get and something that I wished that I could have gotten. And so you feel like, well, I missed out on that. And you just kind of deal, but it is kind of like you're in this group by yourself where the majority of people have given birth and not one, not two, maybe 3 or 4 times. And for me, my story is that I did try. It just didn't happen. I tried a couple of times. I mean, I tried, of course, the natural way. That didn't work out. But I also tried medically. And that didn't work out either a couple of times. And so it's kind of like I did yearn to have that experience of becoming a mother naturally through me. And I do have to understand that that's not everybody's story. Everybody's journey is different. And obviously, that wasn't in the cards for me. Um, I'm getting older in age. I ultimately would still love it if I could experience that. And then just to have a little person that comes out of you that has your mannerisms and they like the same things that you like and they look like you and you look at them and they may have certain traits that's just like you. And, when you don't get to experience that, it's kind of like, I think, I won't say every, but I think the majority of women would love to experience that part of motherhood in that way if they could. And unfortunately, it's just a thing that everybody can't. And that's the part that sucks. And so you can't have those conversations with other people who are talking about their children and, you know, how it happened when they first, discovered that they were pregnant. How it happened when they told, their family, their friends, their loved ones that they were expecting and all those things that you kind of just imagine in your head that you're going to be able to do when that happens for you, and then it doesn't happen. And so it's kind of like, eh. And this is no way, in no shape, form, or fashion, um, me talking bad about the way that I became a mother, because I'm extremely blessed because there are still some people that haven't even been able to do it the way in which I've done through adoption. I adopted through the state, but then there's also private adoption where you do have to pay money. I think it's quite a bit of money. And sometimes, you can have a job that has assistance in helping you through that process. Whether it's adoption or IVF, there's some wonderful companies out there that you may work for that can provide assistance, financial assistance, wonderful leave for you to be able to pursue that. And I think that's an amazing thing. I had to do it myself on my own. But I had the support of my family. But it still goes back to saying, if I had had it my way, I wouldn't trade my son, of course, for anything in the world. But you still kind of look in the back of your head like, I still, like, I would have my son, but I still would have loved to have known what it felt like to actually give birth. I just, and if I'm wrong, in wanting that, then chime in and let me know. Because I know, like I said, it's not the process for everyone. And how you became a mother is how you became a mother. And I think that's the most amazing thing. There are so many children out here that are in dire need of love from a parent. Whether it's one parent, whether it's 2 parents, it would be ideal to have a 2 parent household where you have the mother, father, or however you're in a situation as far as your partnership, whether it's male, male, female, female, whatever that case may be. But to have 2 parents is a blessing. I wasn't with anyone. I wasn't married, but I definitely knew that I wanted to have a child. And so I just took matters into my own hand and did what I had to do. And it worked out. It was an amazing, amazing experience. Well, the paperwork was not. It was a lot of paperwork, a lot of training. Because if you adopt through the state, you have to actually become a foster parent first. And that's basically them calling you, letting you know that, hey, we have a child for you. Can you keep this child for X amount of days, X amount of time? For whatever reason, it could be that a parent is in jail or rehab or whatever the case may be, taken away for abuse, whether it's mental, physically, sexual, all sorts of reasons that children end up in foster care. I wasn't necessarily looking to be a foster parent. I went in with the intention of wanting to adopt, of course, but I know that you have to start out as a foster parent. So you are required to take all of these classes. You are required to do the CPR training. You are required to do first aid training. You are required to have meetings after meetings with your social worker, um, um, the child social work. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes on. I think the whole process for me lasted for about, I want to say a year. Um, and I just remember after that, you get a license and it's just like a waiting game. You just sit and wait, you know. And they even have like groups while you wait type groups because there are so many children and there's so many people that are foster parents and people are, I want to say, you know, especially for the young babies, you know, people are in line waiting. People really want the younger children. It's very hard, which is very unfortunate to place older kids. And when I mean by older, I mean like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you know, because a lot of people want the younger children. And it does kind of suck. And I was one of those people that wanted, you know, a baby. That was a very slim chance and you'd be waiting for quite a while actually. And I know stories of sometimes people getting placed with a child and they have that child not even for months. I want to say maybe a year or two and then have to give that child up. I don't know if I would have been able to do that. Yeah, because I would have been way too attached to this baby that you've had for 2 years. Imagine, imagine having to give that baby back. You've been that baby's world. And the parent has gotten himself together, and it's always reunification. They always want you to be reunified, or connected or unified. Was that the right word? Reunification back to the parent. That's what the judge wants. That's what the system wants. And I understand it. I get it. But it would be hard for me to have to give that child up. So the way in which it happened for me is that when I got my son, he had unfortunate circumstances. So the parental rights on his side with the parent, birth parents were already terminated. Um, so there was no going back. He would not be going back to that situation. And so it worked out in my favor. I was actually a foster mother in the system for 6 months. That's the minimum amount of time that you can be a foster parent. And then he was adopted at 6 months, at that 6 month timeline. And then, you know, he had actually been with me, you know, of course, prior to that 6 months or whatever, but it just worked out in my favor because God knew not to give me a child and then had to give that child back. I don't even, that's just, it's just not, I don't know. I don't know how you people do it out there. That's foster parents. And I just would just love on that child so much, especially when you just really, there's some people that are just like, I'm a foster parent. I'm here to help. Just like you foster, you know, pets and stuff. And your job is just to look after that pet or look after, you know, the children until the circumstance gets better. And you have that understanding and that's what you do. I am someone that will love on and love on and love on and get attached to that person or even a pet. I wouldn't be like, I'm like, no, I've had this pet for 8 months. It's my pet. That's just me. But like I said, I think it worked out in my favor. God knew. I'm just gonna have to say God knew. God knew to give me a baby that that I could just adopt. That's it. Because it just wouldn't have worked out for me. I just would have been a mess. And yeah, that was not gonna work for me. So God knew and I did that and that's my story. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed. But right now, like if I could go in and, you know, have the process of just, you know, I have endometriosis. So a lot of symptoms of endometriosis is infertility. Now, it does not mean that I'm not fertile because my doctor said that I still was. But the problem now is that I'm much older and I don't know if I have eggs left. I don't know. But just in the case that I do, I would definitely love to still experience that, it's just, I think that's a blending thing that, becoming a mom in the natural way is an amazing thing. And if it's not for me, it's not for me. And I'm still blessed and I'm highly favored and I love my son so much. And it was the best thing that I've ever could have done. And so I'm appreciative of the process. But that it is kind of a lonely thing when it comes to speaking to others who didn't have your experience. And I'm saying the majority of women typically can give birth, and we're a small group of people that can't. And you find yourself and they talk about what their child did, and gave the surprise to their parents and how their parents were, and they took the pregnancy test, and whatever the case may be, and you don't get to really have those types of stories. And I guess you just got to come to grips with it, right? Like that's not your story, that's not your journey, and it's okay. Maybe that's what I have to tell myself. That's not my story. That's not my journey. And it's okay. It happened for me the way in which it was supposed to happen. Hey, maybe God knew, like, if you give birth, it could be detrimental. Maybe something could have happened to me. I don't know. Only God knows. So I am here. And if I am to, even in the future, see, look, I'm giving myself therapy. Even if I'm in the future, um, if I could get pregnant, that would be amazing. But if I can't, it's okay. It's okay because guess what? I'm still a mom, the unnatural way, but yeah, I'm still a mom. And so maybe that was just for me. Maybe that was how it's supposed to have happened for me. And I just have to get, I got to understand that. It's not for everything. And it's not for everybody. Everybody can't do it that way. No, I get it. And I'm telling myself. So you know what? As far as this whole episode, bump all that. What's for you is for you. Okay. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. What's for me is for me. And the way that I became a mom is the way that I became a mom. It's not lonely. It's my story. It's my story. And that's my journey. You see, I love when I talk and then I start to realize, what I'm saying and then minister to myself and let myself know that it's okay. Everybody can be the same. God didn't make us all the same and we all have different stories for different reasons. And maybe it wasn't supposed to go down that way. It went down the way that it was supposed to. And that's all good. So look, I had one topic and now I have another topic. Your story is your story. You became a mother the way you became a mother. And that's just the way it is. God is amazing, right? That's what I say. Okay. I thank you. I just wanted to get off my chest and just come in this new year, being grateful for everything that I have, being grateful to be here in this platform, being grateful to be able to tell my story. I want to hear your story. So you can definitely leave a comment below, chime in and let me know how you became a mom the unnatural way, what your experience was like, how it's working out for you, if there are any problems that you want to discuss. If you want to be a part of this show as a guest, just let me know. Chime in. I also want to make sure that I shout out my sponsor, which is actually me, tamjamcandles.com. That's my candle line. You can go to tamjamcandles.com. And these candles are 100% soy wax, hand poured with love by me. I make all sorts of candles with music in mind. So you get a lot of music titles, a lot of song lyrics for sure. As you can see, The Greatest Love of All is one of my favorite songs by Whitney Houston. I have packs with Inhale and Exhale. I have my TJ candle black line label, Citron and Mandarin, Sea Salt and Orchid, the black label. I have so many candles, I can get them personalized for you. It's whatever you want. So just go to tamjamcandles.com, get you a candle. They smell amazing. Amazing. I make them myself, y'all. I got so many jobs that I do, but being a mother is the first and foremost thing. So I want to thank you guys for participating. Yep, because I know you're going to be coming, and I want to thank you guys for watching, most importantly. I want to thank you guys for being here, for supporting me. I want to make sure that you guys subscribe to me, like this video, comment, repost if you can. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. I appreciate you. And just remember, you're a mother, no matter what. Your journey is your journey and your story is your story. Peace out. Until next time.